Hello, everyone. My name is Tamisha Thorpe, and I present to you my children's literature math lesson. The name of my lesson is From Tally to Bar, and the content standard is here. In short, what it represents is students being able to draw a picture or bar graph to show different types of data. Our learning target today is I can draw a bar graph using the data from a tally chart. Some prior knowledge that students need to possess. One is one-to-one correspondence, which means being able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and know that they can keep track with their counting. Also, that illustrations provide information. So in a story, students need to understand that when they see an illustration, it can give you information that the text might not explicitly give to you. So those illustrations are very important as well. Also, students need to be able to recognize tally marks. Although it explains it in the book, it would be great if students have that knowledge and they've seen a tally mark before and knows what it represents. Some teaching strategies that you will see today is activating prior knowledge, core reading, direct instruction, I do, we do, you do model, interactive read aloud, and collaborative small group work. To introduce my lesson, I would begin with this picture right here. So I would show students this picture. It's about on the first or second page of the story. So right at the beginning before the story is told, I would show this picture and simply ask students, what do you notice? And this will open up the door to conversation. Surely some students will make connections to things like ice cream, tennis balls, a dad, a baby, a mosquito. So they will make connections to that. And if they've seen those tally marks before, they will make connections with those as well. We will also do choral reading. So we will chorally read this I can statement or our learning target. And also, I'd like to identify these highlighted words. Those are words that might be difficult for students, and to go ahead and front load that information so they can better understand that learning target. So my teaching procedures are, after introducing the lesson at the beginning, what I will do is I will stop. I will read all the way up until I get to this point, and I will stop. Here's where the interactive read aloud comes into play. I will stop right here, and notice that the text is blocked out here. Okay, and I would ask students, what can you tell me about the siblings contest? And also, how do you know that? So what information did you use on this page to gather or come to the conclusion of whatever you know about the siblings contest? So if you know that somebody won or somebody lost, how do you know that? So students will have to, again, pull on that prior knowledge to use those illustrations in order to tell me what they know. The hope is that they would look towards these tally marks and use that information to come to a conclusion. After we go ahead and ask what the students think, then we'll go ahead and have a big reveal. This can be done in the form of a drum roll, and then we will read what's actually going on in the story. So just to give you a little background about the story that I chose, the story is called Tally O'Malley, and it's about a family that's going on vacation, and the kids are a little rowdy in the back, are we there yet type of thing, and the mom suggests that they play tally mark games. So throughout their trip and while they're on vacation, they go ahead and use tally marks to count the things around them. The siblings do. So the three siblings are pictured here. So throughout the story, that's what they're doing. On this particular page, they have counted cars. So they've counted the color cars that they wanted to count. They chose a color and they counted those cars and came up with their tally marks. So what we would do is we would read this page. So time's up, said Mom, just as they pulled into a rest stop for lunch. Dad took Shamrock for a walk while they counted up their tally marks. I win, Eric shouted. I always win. So then we will see the big reveal, and students will probably cheer and shout once they see who has won. So make sure you pull on how do you know that Eric won. So after that, now that we're focusing in on these tally marks now the question is, how do I change the tally marks to a bar graph, which was our learning target at the beginning? We need to make sure that students know that this information or this data is the same, but it's presented in a different way. We also want to make sure that their bar graph has a title, categories, and matching data. So we want to make sure the title is cars or cars they saw, something like that. And the categories are the colors or the kids' names. And notice that they're in different colors here. The color that their name is the color that they pick, type of thing. So you can do the same thing. Just make sure that the data is presented in the same way. So I, of course, would model how to give it a title. And we would do this together and create an anchor chart from that, so that students can pull from that anchor chart when they do their independent or partner work. So after that guided practice or that mini lesson is over, then it will be their turn. So later on in the story, they have 2 more contests about t-shirts, counting t-shirts, and counting train cars. So what they would do, this symbol signifies that they will get with a partner. And this is where the collaborative work comes in. They will get with a partner and they will choose which category, whether they want to do the t-shirts. So there's a tally chart for t-shirts, if they want to do that one and turn it into a bar graph, or do they want to do the train car tally chart and change it into a bar graph. So students will choose and complete that task on their own or with their partner. And at the end of the lesson, we will simply complete this sentence frame. Today we learned blank. So today we learned how to change a tally chart into a bar graph. It is important because information is presented in different ways, and we need to be able to understand the information or the data that we see. My exit ticket would be for students to take this information, totally different information that came from our Big Ideas textbook. So from the Big Ideas textbook is this tally chart. Okay, it's about favorite color or what have you. So they will take this tally chart and show me that they can change that into a bar graph. So this exit ticket, instead of just doing it with a partner and turning it in, they would do this independently. So they would do this independently and they will post it on the Canvas page. So that will involve that we use Canvas at school as well. So that will bring in my technology as they will use this and they will create it. They can take a picture and put it on our Canvas page in a discussion post or something like that, or on a page, in order to turn it in to me. My assessments that I would use thus far throughout the lesson is teacher observation, which is formative because it's as the lesson is going on. Also the exit ticket, because we're not at the end of the graphing unit. So this will be formative as the students are learning. And this will help me to tailor my instruction and give them what they need. Modifications or accommodations for students' individual needs. The first bullet point is a small group. Teacher-led small group, and using pictures as opposed to tally marks so students can make connections. So using car cutouts or something like that for students to actually physically move around, manipulate, and count. To accelerate students, increasing the number of categories. The standard states up to 4 categories, but we have some students that perform higher, so they can have more categories so that they can look at that data and transfer that data into a bar graph. And also shorten audio directions and a shortened lesson that gives them audio access. So that audio access allows them to stop, pause, whatever they need to do, rewind, so that they can have access to that lesson at whatever pace they need to. Okay? Thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day.